Before we go into what happened post-pandemic, right? Maybe we go slightly earlier. You said you were doing part-time job, most particularly in F&B before starting out BurgerLab. But can I just have an idea, or can you share with us why burger? Why burger? Is burger your thing, or burger your passion? Or why do you choose burger?
I think it's the easiest thing to cook. Actually, BurgerLab was supposed to be a cafe. My background when I was working in F&B as a part-timer was actually as a barista. So I was one of the first few baristas to make latte art lahua.
Yeah.
Back then, when we did that, nobody cared. But that was my passion. And I asked two of my friends and said, hey, I'm going to open a cafe. And I think in the modern world, everyone wants to own a cafe at some point in their life, right? Maybe after you retire, or it seems like a very romantic ideal of business. So that was what we wanted to do. But when we did our research, talking to different suppliers, different distributors, we realized that a lot of people were talking to them too. Then we realized the market was way too saturated. Too many people was coming at the same time. So I don't know if you remember, 2012, 2013, suddenly there was a wave of coffee joints. There were like every street, someone was opening a coffee joint. So we managed to dodge that, and we decided to go for burgers because we think we were good at making burgers. Every time there is a party, me and 𝐂𝐚 will be flipping burgers in the corner. Why we're flipping burgers in the corner? Because while you might think that, oh, you know, he's an entrepreneur, I see him on newspaper or TV on occasion, he must be an extrovert. Actually, I consider myself an introvert. So in a party, although I like hanging out with my friends, I'm the guy who stands in the corner trying to avoid talking to everyone. I feel like I'm part of the party, but I'm not in the center of the party. So I'm there always flipping burgers. So we felt that we know how to cook burgers, and it's the easiest thing. I don't need a culinary degree or a culinary experience to do it. And of course, when I was traveling in the States as a student for my work and travel experience, I saw that there was this whole burger market that was not in Malaysia. So namely Shake Shack and In-N-Out, which today is very common, but again, 11 years ago, In-N-Out, Shake Shack, if you talk about it in Malaysia, unless you have traveled abroad, you don't really know about it. So we thought, hey, we could be the first people to bring that culture of burgers here.
I see. When you have this idea, was it immediately with your partners, or how do you come to know about your partners?
Okay, so 𝐂𝐚 I met in AD College. I was doing my diploma in engineering at that time. Then weekend I met in University of Nottingham, Semenye, when I was studying to get my degree in mechanical engineering. Yeah.
I see. But then, looking backwards right now, right? How do you know how to find the right partners to do it? Or you guys were just happen to passionate about this and go into it together?
I don't think the three of us were passionate about burgers at the same level. But for example, Wicked was passionate about starting a business. 𝐂𝐚 was passionate about F&B. So that was enough. Now, looking back, obviously, I can say hindsight, these are the criteria to look for in a partner. But in the beginning, I was very naive, very tansuan, right? Just hantam money lah. But I was very lucky because I think in my first year of running the business, I was asked this question where, how did you find your partners? How did you guys gel so well? And that was when I first gave the answer that I will continue giving until today, which is the three of us have something that represents a human being. I think a business should be like a human being, right? And what makes a human being to me is the brains. You can think for yourself. You have the arms and the leg to act on your thinking. And then finally you have heart. So 𝐂𝐚 is the kind of guy who is the hand and leg guy. You need anything done, you get it done. You need someone murdered, you get someone murdered. Alright? So hands and leg. Wicked is the brain. So whenever we need to deal with anything that is numbers related or business related, he's the one that drove the show. And then finally, for myself, I like to think of myself as the heart. I think BurgerLab, what made BurgerLab different from day one was the way we built our work culture. Now, I don't dare say I'm so smart that I built the work culture. I definitely stole the work culture from the other workplaces that I was with. The biggest inspiration I took from was actually with Starbucks. Just curious, anyone here who was Starbucks before? Yeah? What do we call ourselves? Partners?
I at work at our station.
Yeah, but when you're working there, you call each other Starbucks partner, right? Do you remember that?
But is it a part-time gig or like a full-time?
I was part-timing for 3 years during my studies. Yeah. So one strong culture is that no matter everywhere, anywhere you go in the world, we call each other Starbucks partners. And to me, that was one example of what this strong work culture is. You belong to something. Whether, even though I stopped working for Starbucks almost 20 years ago, every time I tell the stories, I talk about Starbucks. So hopefully, one of my staff, they find success, and then down the road they say, hey, I work with MyBurgerLab, and I learned this great culture. So I think great culture is infectious. Yeah. So anyway, I took a lot of the work experience I have, things that I like, I assimilated into my business. Things that I didn't like, I made sure wasn't in my business. And I think that was how we got together, the three of us, and worked very well. So what I've learned is that if you have to build a business, if you can contain all these three in yourself, meaning you have the brains, you have the heart, you have the hand and leg, great. In fact, these things are hireable. We can hire people to do it. But in the beginning, we have no money, we just hantar money lah. But thankfully, the three of us complemented each other in that sense.
A very good dynamic, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. It was a great example. So when three of you first started MyBurgerLab, right? Did you guys anticipate like the business will go so well at the first place? How was it like?
We hope that the business would do well. Nobody wants to start a business and have a mediocre level business. We all want it to boom, right? The business that we looked up to at that point in time was Snowflake. This is, again, 11, 12 years ago, Snowflake had a lot of outlets. In fact, now Snowflake has less outlet than it has before. But at the time, every day there's a long queue. We're like, hey, how do we build a business that has such a long queue? And we hear different rumors or can buy people, can pay people to pretend to queue. And then, Malaysians, when they see a queue, they'll start queuing. We were taking all the so-called say queue, right? But we didn't do that. But back then, at that time, all we know was that as long as we do it right, and we are doing something that's different enough or special enough, there is a chance that the business will do well. Now, we got very lucky. The first thing that made us different or created that viral sensation was that the timing was correct. So this is 2012. So a lot of us, obviously, if you think back, COVID, it seems like it's a very long time ago. That's only 3 years ago. But 11 years ago, things were a lot more different as well. So what was different at that time? For example, the trend of OOTD started around 2012, late 2011. So outfit of the day, right? People started having this behavior of taking photos of what they're wearing, where they're makaning. These days it's so common. In fact, we see people walking around with a stick talking to themselves. It's common. Yeah. But back then, just taking a picture of food and posting on it was something, I would say, rare. Now, it was also a time where 3G became cheap and accessible. Again, think back 11, 12 years. If you take a picture on your phone, okay, the quality, let's not talk about that. Okay, quality is not right? But if you want to post on your phone, what do you need to do? You either go home, log onto your Wi-Fi, or you can post. Yeah. Remember those days? Yeah. Or you go to the cafe and back on the Wi-Fi so that you can post something. Yeah. These days, we don't even ask for Wi-Fi password anymore. All we do is just post directly from our phone. Very different times. So, right timing. At that time, our buns were black in color. There was one of the first black burger bun in Malaysia. And we had the energy. We had a lot of young people working with us. So people started posting, sharing, and talking about us. So if you ask me if I built the same MyBurgerLab as we started 10 years ago, today, will I find the same success? The answer is no. It's much harder these days to find that success. But you do have more tools to spread your news, to spread your awareness to others. But again, 10 years ago, I think if you had something special and you had a good product, it was easier to find success.
So can I say that for you to advise someone to just get into the business, based on your past experience, timing is more important than any other things?
Timing is a bit about luck also, right? I feel that timing is, you can't choose the timing. You can only pray that the timing you choose is correct. But of course, being able to observe the market trend, what people are into, what is popular, right? That makes a whole lot of difference. For example, like right now, actually, it don't have to be right now. 3 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, remember the bubble tea trend? Right. In fact, the bubble tea trend has a cycle.
Yeah.
I think 9 years ago, there was another bubble tea trend when 𝐂𝐨 first started. Then there was a host of bubble tea brands that opened up. Again, all closed down. And then fast forward 5-6 years after that, then we saw 2018 or 2019, there was a whole bubble tea trend. So being able to observe that trend incoming, and if you're the first few people, you definitely make money. Right? But if you join late, and I do know of some businesses, unfortunately, that join a little bit later, they all lost money, especially those that bought franchises. So if you're able to observe the market and be able to jump in quick, it makes a difference. But again, bubble tea to me is more of a trend-based business that are the king of those products. For example, Tea Life, is very difficult to go and challenge Tea Life right now. Right? So what is your niche? What do you want to find that you can be the king of that niche?
Yeah, speaking of which, right, like you say, like if I'm going to do a bubble tea business now, I will set Tea Life as my the god there, like the benchmark. Like it's hard for me to go and challenge the status quo of Tea Life at the moment.
Not impossible, but yes, it's hard.
Yes. So speaking of which, right, like McDonald's has been in Malaysia for damn long. Ramly Burger also damn long. Why? How did you come across this? Like setting up BurgerLab, right? At that time, were McDonald's or even Ramly Burger?
Okay. So I know what your question is. So there's already a king out there.
Yeah.
There's also a Burger King, yeah.
How do
you decide to go and challenge?
Yeah.
Now, like I said, I don't dare say I'm a smart person, yeah. But when we were traveling in America, we saw that burgers actually have different market segment, right? And it's proven. So we saw the likes of In-N-Out and Shake Shack. While for those that don't like burgers, they think burgers is all the same. But even in Malaysia, there is the street burger, okay? That's Ramly. Then we have fast food, right? From the McDonald's to your 𝐂𝐨 Junior. Even that has different segment from what is 10 ringgit for a set meal to 20 plus ringgit for a set meal. 𝐂𝐨 Junior is about 20 plus. McDonald's 10 ringgit. This is 10 years ago. I know McDonald's very expensive now.
Yeah.
And then after that, you got your gourmet range, okay? And then you got your hotel premium range. So when we were traveling in America, we realized that there was this new segment that was not being challenged, which is the casual dining burgers. So In-N-Out and Shake Shack serves that. They are more expensive than McDonald's in America. They are more expensive, but they are more premium in terms of the quality. Though their setup is very fast food-like. And we did think that, oh wow, actually fast food has another level. And when we think about in Malaysia, is anyone else doing it? And no one else was doing it. Now, what gave me a lot of inspiration at the time was actually a brand called 𝐂𝐲 Burger. You guys remember? Abang Burger came later, but there was this
Subang.
no, actually it started in Wangsa Maju. That's correct, Wangsa Maju. So street burger also got different tier. You have your Ramly, which used to be like 4 ringgit, 5 ringgit. 𝐂𝐲 came out, it was like 10 ringgit, right? And then they did the tower and everything. So that gave me confidence that there is in individual segments you can build, right, more value. So we thought in Malaysia that was a good opportunity to start BurgerLab. And yeah, that's how we started.
So going by what you say, right? So in order for us to go into a market, we have to study the segments first and see which segment do we go in at the best position.
It seems like that. Like I said, I don't know if it applies to all industry, but for sure, at that time, we felt that so I came from the coffee world.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the coffee world, there's something called the third wave coffee. Again, anyone here runs cafe? No? Okay. So in the cafe world, there is something called third wave coffee. And all the cafes you see today, right, whether they do hand pour, whether they do espresso, those are all third wave. what is third wave? So let's talk about first wave. First wave is your Nescafe, right? You can make it at home. And then your second wave is the Starbucks. Okay, so these are the guys that made it very available. You can find it anywhere. So my first wave, I would say, is maybe roughly, but in our category, roughly, right, made it very affordable for everyone to have access to it. Then of course McDonald's opened hundreds and hundreds of outlets, again made it even more accessible. So then when the third wave of coffee came, everyone was like, okay, I have my Nescafe, I can have it at home, no problem. I have my Starbucks, which is good, but now I want artisanal. I want something where I feel it's a bit more premium, more suited to my expensive lifestyle or my artless lifestyle. Everyone wants a little bit of luxury in their life, right? Now we're seeing another change. Zeus Coffee is changing that again.
Okay, but do you think it's going upward or backward? Because every wave sort of going premium at first.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. So Zeus created, I think, they are in between the Starbucks and the crafted range, right? That's why their tagline very smartly is called affordable luxury, right? Where you can have it every day, right? But it's a luxury. Where else Starbucks you probably can have it once a month, once every 2 weeks, right? So for us, at least for us, we see ourselves as third wave of burgers. Will we be changing? I would say the evolution is coming.
Yeah, I see. Great answer, Mike. So on the first day you opened at CFA here, you already gone viral. Isn't that true? Like what was the element that you think that you makes the shop viral? Okay.
So half yes, half no lah. We started our R&D testing somewhere in January, February of 2012. We did about 10 rounds of testing. And after that 10 rounds of testing, we had the confidence to open because people would say, oh, set up, very good, right? So that gave us confidence. Now, fast forward to July, that's when we opened up this outlet. Why we chose this outlet? Let's talk about why we chose this outlet. Because this street originally was empty. There was no other businesses around, right?
Boom at that time?
Boom was open, yes. Okay. Boom was the only famous one at Flying Mantang Mee. So now I don't know where they moved after the pandemic. They kind of disappeared. But those were the two famous ones at night lah. But again, there were other outlets around. We chose it because it was the cheapest. We didn't have much money to start with. Again, very naive. We only had, between the three of us, 250,000 to start the business, to build the business, and to have capital to continue running. It is a lot of money, to be fair, but to run a F&B is not a lot. It's really not a lot. So we chose this simply because the rental was the cheapest. Just behind one street, right, the same shop is about 5,000 ringgit. This shop is about 3,000 ringgit at that time. Now,
two floors.
One floor only. So we took it because they say got ghosts. And the shop lot is actually number 14. Yeah, so but I don't believe in ghosts. So we said numbers make sense. Let's go. And also this store has this tiang that's in the middle. So the bottom also got behind that another tiang. So feng shui wise is not great. But I don't know. We were thinking again. The three of us were science people, so we thought it wasn't something that numbers make sense because we built the store with about 200,000. So we have 50,000 as capital to grow. And the way we calculated is if we go to, let's say, somewhere busier, let's say Uptown. At the time, Uptown was close to 8,000, 10,000 ringgit, some units. 3,000 ringgit, I can last 1 year, even if I do business, right? Pay rental. But if it's 10,000 ringgit, suddenly it's only 3 months, 4 months, right? I have to make the business work. So based on that, we started. But luckily, like I said, the timing was correct. The black one was very unique. We also had a few the first one was actually Eat Drink KL. Do you guys remember Eat Drink KL?
Yeah.
So back in the days, we don't watch KL foodie. We look at okay, whatever Eat Drink KL says, we will go. So Eat Drink KL liked our food. We didn't invite him. He was our third customer. I didn't know about it.
He was your third customer.
It was my third customer on the day. On the day we opened, right? At that time, we told ourselves, guys, we just keep this quiet because we're not ready. We just open doors first, slowly learn how to run the business.
Soft launch.
Soft launch. Right? But KL Foodie, not KL Foodie, Eat Drink KL has a reputation of always being the first to new restaurants, right? And we don't like him. I mean, I like him as a person, Sean, but we don't like it when your first day, right, people come because you're not ready, right? But thankfully, he liked our burgers. And at night, I remember we went to eat in somewhere nearby, and our friends started calling us, "Hey guys, you guys are on Iterin KL, congratulations." I'm like, say lor. Because we know that if we are on there, and if he gives a good rating, we will be swamped, and we're not ready for it. So I wanted a more pragmatic approach, which is slow and easy, grow slowly. But because of Iterin KL's post, we really gonna hantam after that. And then another post that also helped us was the Star. So the Star, before we opened, they also called us because we went viral, quote unquote viral, with our black buns in February.
How did that happen?
Okay, so our friends always came and makan, and then they took a picture, and then they posted.
Oh.
And then it went viral. Okay, so viral not like these days are 10,000, 100K, like 500 likes. It's like, oh, very good. So we reached our page when we first started was like doing the R&D was about 50 people, all friends right on Facebook. And then when we went viral, we jumped to 1,000 within 3 days. Then it slowed down, but people were constantly asking us, "Hey, how can I try a burger? How can I try?" We say, wait. So people were fairly patient. Thankfully, no other competition appeared between February and July. So when we opened, and 2-3 weeks before we opened, the Star called us and she said, "Hey, I want to interview you guys. I'm interviewing you guys." And we're not even open yet. We said, "You're so famous online." I'm like, "What famous?" We have like 1,000 followers at that time. So when we opened, she's like, "Hey, you opened already, come, I must interview you." So we said, "Okay, sure. How bad can it be?" And thankfully, the interview, and like I said, I think of it as a blessing now, but at the time I knew it was going to give us more customers than we can handle.
Yeah.
But they gave us a 3-page color print
Three-page?
Yeah, and Star Metro.
Wow.
So that kind of cement us as, again, back in the days, very easy to go viral. So Iterin KL, and then the Star posted, it was enough to just keep us busy for 2-3 years. Yeah, of course, when that happened, other influencers came, and so on. Yeah. So what made us different at the time was also we hired a lot of students. So when we first started, we had a lot of friends who were, because I played Ultimate Frisbee, so we had a lot of friends who was very young and very energetic, and they had school holiday at the time. So between July to September, they were having school holiday. They asked, "Hey, come and help us out, go for us for fun." So because we were all friends and we were all very young, and I think I can say this here, all Chinese. So in F&B, back then it's very, very rare to see Chinese working in F&B, and also young. In fact, people will ask us, "Hey, is this a school project? Why everyone so young one?" Right?
But everyone was energetic, passionate. You can see that from us.
My team now is still that, but it's a more normal side now that you see my team. So it was a very different time, and again that was luck. But I think what we did right was being able to observe luck and try to recreate the luck. So when the first person that came and said, "Hey, I want to work with you," and it was not a usual candidate, meaning that, again, very local, very young college kid, well spoken. We're like, "Oh, we're onto something." So we continue to make sure that the workplace is somewhere where it's constantly very energetic, very young, very vibrant. And I dare say, up until the pandemic, we managed to hire a group of people. Pandemic, everything switched. We'll talk about that later. Yeah. So what was the original question that led to this? I also forgot really. How did we start?
No worries.
Yeah.
But okay, like speaking of which, right? Like you said when you first hired the first batch of staff here, it was like you know someone from Frisbee and ask them to come over. How do you continue doing that until pre-pandemic?
So
How do you keep the
So building the value, building the culture. So what do young people like? And it was not so much money. I don't think we paid the best. We were paid slightly higher than McDonald's, KFC, Starbucks maybe. But against the cafe, we're not paying as high as they do. But what we had was a place that they can grow. In fact, we always encourage parents to be a part of this journey as well. So once a year, and this idea is not mine, but it was we guess, once a year we'll invite all our staff's parents to come and makan for free. We'll cook for them. The management will cook for them.
Wow.
Yeah. So parents were very a part of this ecosystem, and parents will sometimes come to us and say, thanks to you, my staff, my son started cleaning his own room, started walking around. Yeah. So that's where we realized we brought more value than just hiring staff. So we made sure that when they come in here, it's not just you flip patty, you collect cash. So we have 7 stations that we make sure that they cycle through and they understand why their role is important there.
Meaning that they will not only in charge of one
station.
Okay.
Because it's more cost efficient if you just hire one staff and the staff they start working until they leave you, they do the same task. More cost efficient, I don't have to train so much.
Yes.
But we actually believe in them cycling through. So we also gamify the system. It's a bit complicated, but I'll try to simplify it. What we did was we make sure that there's a reward system station.
Okay.
If you are deemed as a master specialist on that station, 3 station, your pay grade goes up. 5 stations, your pay grade goes up. 7 stations, your pay grade goes up. So this encourages them to try different stations. Now, however, to be a specialist is not enough. So you need to be a teacher, because I also believe in the mentor ecosystem. So for you to be able to be considered a specialist, so you are damn good at what you do, but you suck at teaching, you won't get it.
So if you can't be a leader, you are not.
It's not about being a leader. It's about being able to take care of someone, being able to grow someone.
Okay.
It's a skill set. It's not everyone, and not everyone can teach. Not everyone can be a good mentor.
Yeah.
So even in our work, right, whether you work in the corporate world or whatnot, managers are supposed to coach you to grow. But I feel like, again, this is just hearing from my friends. A lot of it is you're expected to do work. If you don't know how to do, then blah blah, right? But I feel that the workplace is actually more conducive if you know that the person above you, their interest is to grow you.
Yeah.
So that's why here, the moment your first day working with us, you will be assigned a mentor that will oversee your work.
But for how long would that be? Like, or when you go to different station, then you will have different mentors.
Yes, but everyone is, there's someone behind your back. There's someone watching your growth and wanting your growth to be a very fruitful one. Yeah. So very quickly, that junior, let's say he worked with us for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then another junior comes in. Immediately, that new junior is placed under this new guy. So he knows that someone is watching behind me, I'm watching somebody else. The ecosystem continues. So for us, a lot of young people will recommend their friends to work with us, they will recommend their brothers and sisters to work with us. So we see a lot of family go through their whole family now become work with us, except for parents, but the brother, sister will end up working with us. Yeah.
I see. So to sum it up, right, you say you actually gamify the workplace a bit.
Yeah.
First is through reward system.
Yeah.
When they hit certain targets, then their pay grade will increase.
Yeah.
Secondly is you implement mentor-mentee system.
Yes.
Where you are asked to handle or guide or provide coaching on something like this.
Exactly. Yes.
To junior.
Because a lot of workplaces, I feel, especially in F&B, they don't have that system. You're here to hire to do one thing, you just do that thing.
I see. Then, can I ask you one thing very quickly? What do you think, before all this, right, what is the core value or the culture that you want to build for your workplace, including together with your founding teams? So between your founders and also going back, like the management and the staff, right? What are the culture or what are the core values that you want to build? Like you said, of course we like to have fun as well, but sometimes at the heat of the moment you cannot have fun. So
Yeah.
how do you balance between that?
I think there's always going to be stress at work, no matter what. But the ability to communicate, the ability to work things out is important. So, for example, I'll answer your question on the culture or the mission later. But we make sure that at the start of the day, we talk about, there's a briefing, and the team will talk about what they want to achieve today, whether it's to sell 100 burgers, whether it's to make sure every single cheese crust is perfect, right? They talk about the goal. They'll try to achieve the goal. At the end of the day, they'll talk about the failures. They talk about what they didn't manage to delivered, and they'll apologize for it. So it's accountability. So with that, every day is a new mission, is a new cycle. Now, on the grand scheme of things, me and my founders at that time, I think even up until the pandemic, we were not very profit-driven. I'll have to admit that. That's why if you look at us, it's not like we opened a lot of stores in a very short amount of time. In fact, up until 2020, we only had 7 stores around there. Even up until this date, it's still the same. In fact, we closed one recently. So we were not business smart. So when I say we get...
I thought Vicky is a business guy.
So the thing is, in the early days, first 3 years, he was very involved in the business. After that, he took a step back. For mental health reasons, he took a step back. He wanted to pursue his own interests. So I led the show. And again, if you have a hard guy leading the show, you're in trouble. So I grew the business based on heart. But I knew that I needed another partner to come in down the road who is more numbers driven. And year after year, I just understood it as never mind. I just continue building. We're not losing money. We're making money very little, but it's good. I'm happy. The people talk well of the brand. People love the brand. That to me is important because when I have that, right, when the numbers come in, it just becomes stronger. So the foundation of building the people side to me is a harder task than the number side. The number side anytime can come in. And actually one of the reasons why we decided to take a back seat also because I was having arguments with him every other day. The problem is I enjoyed the argument, he didn't.
Oh, okay.
So I like the argument is because I feel like I'm learning from him.
Yeah.
Whatever I ask for in terms of, let's give the staff more, let's have more activities, reward them more. Because I wasn't thinking of the numbers, I was just give.
Yeah.
Then it's like, no, cannot, because the numbers are like that. And I like that because I thought I was learning from him and always being in the middle ground. To him, it's like, this is central to every day want to give away money. So yeah, in the end, because of various reasons and that itself, and I take the blame for that, that he said he took a backseat. So I continued driving the business between myself and Chen up until 2020, and then it happened. Then that's the next chapter. Again, we'll touch that and we hit the
Yes. So speaking of this, right? Like you want to reward them more. I believe that it was coming from your heart. So looking back at it, right? Which one do you think that is more effective in retaining talents? Let's say money or culture? It's about the culture that you build and retains your staff here, or it was the money that you give them?
Honestly, I think it's both. Right? People need money to support. What I should have done, I felt I should have been more brave to charge more. I don't dare charge more. So we were pricing it not based on food cost. Any F&B person would say food cost must be 30%. I was at 50% for so long, right? But we were lucky we had volume, so we were able to sustain the business. But when the volume dipped, that's when the problem came.
Yeah. After around 2 years plus, when the Chinese sort of cool off. Was it 2 years?
The long queue no more already, but the business was still sustainable. In fact, to me, the long queue is not sustainable. No one's going to keep coming back and have that long queue. That is, to me, not sustainable. What is sustainable is your store constantly for people and it's well paced out, never empty. That is good. But if it's just long queues only, long term it doesn't work. Look at all the bubble tea.
Yeah.
Right now, tea life very sustainable. Every few minutes, someone comes in and buy one cup.
So the key element in sustainable F&B business is constant recurring rather than instant hype.
Yeah, unless your business is selling the business. If you're selling a franchise, which a few of the businesses at that time did, was I built one store, make sure it looks damn nice, make sure there's a damn long queue, and then find a few 𝐶𝐲 and tell them to invest and buy my franchise. Yeah. And I know of a few friends who unfortunately got burned during that period.
Oh,
yeah.
Has this ever come to your mind, like selling the business?
We were offered a lot of money in the first few years.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't feel right about it because I wasn't sure that we were making enough money because we know our numbers. And we know that if we sell somebody a franchise, they might not make enough money as well. So I've seen friends. Okay, so I've seen a few trends and people get open. So bubble tea is one. Remember the froyo trend back in the days, Tutti Frutti?
Tutti Frutti for
And there was like so many different froyo brands as well. Again, a lot of people got hurt. So I knew that when I started myBurgerLab, people started offering money. I didn't want to be that. I want to make sure that I lay my foundation well. I'm a profitable business. Then only I can help other people make money.
So your goal after the hype was more like you want to help people to make money. Like you want to take care of your staff.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that everyone that is together with you in this business make money. So speaking of the pricing that you mentioned just now, right? What was the reason of you not increasing the pricing? I think pricing is a very important factor in the business. Not only in F&B, not only in the industry, also for a lot of our audience here, right? Do you have any tips to share with us on how to set the pricing or what you think one should consider when setting a pricing?
Okay, I can only come from a F&B perspective. Honestly, if you are known for what you do and you're the, I would say, top tier in terms of quality and your service, you can charge that 10-20% more than the market rate. The crazy part is, when we started, we dictated the market rate. We were the first burger brand that sold a cheeseburger at 12 ringgit. That was our first price. Now, today, our cheapest cheeseburger is 14.90. At one point, it became 17 ringgit. But I reconfigured the recipe. But my point is that at the time, 12 ringgit for a cheeseburger was crazy. People were complaining. But when they ate a cheeseburger, they were like, oh, it's actually good. Now, again, for those that observed the burger trend 10 years ago, after we opened, there were at least 30 burger brands that opened up within the next 1.5 years. And everyone followed my pricing, our pricing. Or they will be like slightly lower than us. At that time, I'm like, yeah, you price the same as me, the price lower than me, let's see how, because I know I'm not making money already. How can you make money?
So at that time, was that a competitive advantage for you? Let's say like, I know to make this kind of, my kind of burger,
yeah,
you can't match my pricing if you don't have my numbers of customers also. So was that the reason you keep the pricing?
No, I'm not that crazy also I'm not that evil right? But why I didn't dare increase the price, even though Wicked and I were arguing about that, was that we were so afraid that if we raise our price, people will go to our competition. But hindsight 2020, I should have raised the price because we were seen as number one. People, in fact, the crazy thing is, when it comes to consumer, when they pay more, they feel better. It is what it is, right? So understanding human psychology also helps. So right now, are we priced slightly better? The answer is yes. But I actually changed the recipe to make it more profitable than move my pricing. So on the advice of pricing, I would say know your worth, know what you're offering compared to the market, and if you are seen as top tier quality,
Market
leader, it doesn't have to be market leader per se, but you are seen as offering something that's of a higher grade quality, charge a little bit more. The question is, how do you tell people you're worth it? That's the tricky part. How do you create that value? Like I said, Zeus is able to sell at a lower pricing. I'll be honest with you, I'm friends with Vernon, the CEO of Zeus. If you ask me, is their coffee good? The answer is no. As an ex-barista, I don't think it's great coffee. But it's a mass market coffee. You can't go wrong.
How is it compared with Starbucks? So
Starbucks is also crap.
I'm just curious.
Sorry. But the thing is, when people buy, they're not buying for the coffee. They're buying for the mermaid that they're holding in their hand. Right? It's that feel-good factor.
Yeah.
Right. So there will be a time in your business, and depending on the nature of your business, that you have to understand you're providing that, hey, if I eat this, I become happier. I drink this, I become happier. So Zeus's strategy of, again, if the branding wasn't as it is, with the blue, nice velvety color, with the ancient godlike the Zeus, right, as the mascot, I think at that price range, they might not have been as competitive, but their branding was so direct. affordable luxury. And they were able to fund themselves to open enough outlets. So the other thing is, and the crazy thing is, you open enough outlets, people will think you're good. Malaysian mentality is, 开一间罢了 ，OK 啦，还好啦。第二间、第三间、第四间，你来，应该是不错。Then you go and try.
So at hindsight, right, would you open more outlets than now?
So
why didn't you open more outlets at that time?
We didn't have enough cash flow to churn. It was every 2-3 years we save enough money, then we settle the next one. And we didn't dare take investor money.
Yeah, because you said a lot of people offer you money as well.
Yes.
It could be.
It comes with a lot of terms. And when we get left the business or step out of the business at the time, I didn't dare. Like every VC that I talked to, I was like, I'm scared. Because they're so much smarter than me. I was like, this is a shark, it's going to eat me. But over time, as I joined different business groups and whatnot, I learned. And I think during the pandemic, something changed. One of the partner wanted exit, and that triggered a lot of things. So today, we have a new business partner. We used to have 7 business partners. Right now, we're down to 3, and one of them as a new one. I can share the story later once you ask me, but
yeah.
A lot of cleanup needed to be done. But at that time, I would say that when it comes to pricing and orders, we were too afraid. Pandemic was kind of slapped me in the face and say,
a wake up call.
A wake up call, because it shone a spotlight on every weakness we had.
I see, great. So I'm still on the stage of before pandemic. After a while, let's say you just said that once you guys have opened up, you went viral, a lot of copycats come up, and how, looking at hindsight, right? How do you keep the competitiveness, or what do you have to do to stay relevant and not be surpassed by the competitors?
So when the competition started opening up, I was very scared. I would visit every one of them. Right? Then I realized, shit, I don't have enough money to go and visit so many burger joints. But yeah, I think the competitive nature of ourselves is that you will be scared. You'll be thinking, will this be the next one that will take over me? Will somebody more money than me open more stores quicker and then overtake us? There is that thought. But I think after 1 year of tormenting myself with those thoughts, I was like, you know what, just focus on ourselves. Because we started realizing that everyone else was actually looking at us. So why did I have to focus on that? Yes, we kept our eyes and ears on the ground just to see what the latest guys are and what their menu is like. But we didn't have to go and like every day go to click on that and see what's happening or not. We just focused on ourselves, did what customers like about us. So back in the days, customers like our quirky way of answering people on social media. Now it's quite common now with JSC admin. Everyone is a jokester on Facebook nowadays. But we were the first few that was very casual when it comes to handling social media. We had a lot of crazy food inventions, right? We had a Milo chicken at one time. So those things were what made us different. But these days again, we have durian ramen. Everyone's just trying to do something crazy. So we also pulled away from that and we started doing more solid traditional flavors.
But you were definitely a pioneer of creating crazy menus.
Yeah, crazy menus for burgers at that time, and it worked for us. So that was how we differentiated ourselves. We just did what we knew people were responding to and gave them more of that.
I see. Thank you.
So instead of listening to your customers, instead of listening to or looking at your competitor, listen to your customer, look at your customers and talk to them.
I see. Thank you for your answer. I think we are quite running out of time. Let's just jump straight to the pandemic period. So MCO, lockdown and all, how was it affect your business?
So we didn't know what was going to happen. On March 18 was the lockdown. We didn't know whether we were able to open it up because they said, what was the word that they used? Essential businesses only.
Yeah.
I was like, myBurgers is 20-30 ringgit, how is it essential? But it's essential, right? I can eat that every day. Burgers 20-30 ringgit is not essential. But again, thankfully the government said it's all F&B. So we were able to continue running. Now, if you guys remember, people were buying toilet paper lah, people were buying a lot of vegetable meat to store at home lah, yeah. So the first week, the sales was really slow. But I made a promise to my team. Again, this is the heart speaking, and it could have gone very wrong, but thankfully it didn't. So I told the team, don't worry, there will be no termination, and I'll keep everyone's salary. And I'm proud to say that until the end of the pandemic, we never did any of those two, right? So for the first week, what we did was we immediately said we have too many manpower, what can we do? What problems can we solve? So again, thinking back, you will remember that there were old people who couldn't come out and buy groceries. There were, because most people cannot come out. F&B, thankfully we have that license, people walk around, right? So we provided a service where people can fill out a Google form and tell us what they need, and we send our staff to do it. So we saw it as a CSR. So that built a lot of goodwill, a lot of good faith in the business. People were like, oh, BurgerLab so good and whatnot. For us, it was, well, if my team is going to sit in the store, I might as well, they go to the supermarket and buy, groceries for somebody. Yeah. And again, thankfully, after second week, third week, people started being sick of their own cooking. They cannot come out yet, right? But they started ordering. So we were the first few businesses that signed up for Grab like 2-3 years before the pandemic. Because prior to that, a lot of businesses were not on delivery. Thousands of businesses were not on delivery. Because it doesn't make sense to be on delivery. For us, we saw it as an additional channel of revenue for us. So because there wasn't a lot of competition in that delivery space, we did really well. People were ordering from us. And of course, during that time, for whatever reason, every action that we did, people were like always talking about us, whether it's the good things that we do or crazy things that we report. For example, we had, I think the police came and saw our staff eating in the store, and then kena saman 50,000 ringgit, 20,000 ringgit. Again, we didn't pay didn't have to pay. Because where is the staff going to eat, right? If not in the restaurant. Anyway, the point is that being on the news constantly was a good thing for us. But it wasn't like we were purposely trying to do it. We were just trying to make sure that as a Facebook platform, where people were observing, we were just disseminating the news and just talking about what is the current matter. And we were also the first brand that started talking about vaccination, this and that. So all in all, during the pandemic, because of us putting a very strong stance that we believe that that the vaccination is the answer. We believe that sanitization. In fact, we were the first brand that also started using a thermometer to measure the bunk riders' forehead, and we had to reject them. And Grab scolded us. And this is like early days of MCO, and then later that became a trend, right? So because of all this, and we always use our social media as a form of communication. We were always on whether states.com or good posts, whatever it is. So that helped us stay relevant, throughout pandemic.
Good. Speaking of this, right, you also got a few controversies. Like the policeman one, I think didn't even come once. Like they went to another one in Masa, where like during evening they will lock queues, cancel order, police eventually came. Not only that, like there are a few more incidents. But the lab seems to did quite well during all this crisis. Were you behind, or were you making the call for how to respond to crisis, or what was the process like when you faced with crisis?
So my marketing team, they do the usual post. Every time there's a crisis, it's because I posted, and then my marketing is like, you post when you solve more. So I'm the crisis manager. So there was one where about cyberbullying a student one also. I didn't cyberbully anyone, but the way that it was portrayed as if I was bullying a student. But anyway, I don't go into that at the moment. You can go and Google the story. But staying in the limelight helped. It wasn't on purpose, but that was what helped. Now, it helped with cash flow. We didn't make money. For those that don't know, every time we order Grab food, they take 25% from us. And 25% is considered one of the lower ones. Okay? Most businesses is 30-35%. So as a as a PSA, if you guys are hungry, you can go out support a restaurant instead of ordering Grab. Grab earns from you, from the Grab driver. There's a cut from there. They will also, there's a charge on top of that, and then they charge us that every 10 ringgit, they take 3 ringgit.
Crazy.
It's not great. So during the pandemic, people will say, oh, BurgerLab very good. I see kids, like a lot of motorbikes outside. We didn't make money. But we were able to pay salary, we were able to break even, and that was all I wanted.
So if you talk about surviving.
Yes. The ironic thing is, we had the highest sales of the year in 2020 and 2021 compared to previous years. Yeah.
Was it because the price sell on Grab is higher than normally price?
That's right. So, if you guys have followed BurgerLab, we used to be Grab signature. As I told you, we were the first few brands that signed up with Grab. They begged us to do on their platform when they switched from Uber Eats. So we were like, okay, we like Grab, let's work together. So they gave us Signature. Signature has a few benefits, whether it's lower commission, you get to pop up first and everything. So thankfully that helped again during the pandemic. But one condition of being a signature is you cannot change your price. Last time you will see our same price as in store.
Yeah.
Now there's no such thing. Everything is more expensive on Grab. Okay, I don't know if you guys noticed or not. Right? But that was a ridiculous rule that they put on us vendors. I say, are you guys stupid? If my burger right now is 20 ringgit, I sell 25 ringgit, you still take 20% from me, you earn more ma. But they were fighting against Foodpanda because Foodpanda also had the same rule. So both of them held merchants hostage by saying, I'll give you a lower commission, but you have to maintain the same price. So we no choice, because if we put a higher price, we put more percentage. So we were bound by that, and that ended up being a disfavor.
Yeah.
Now, during the pandemic, I talked shit about Grab a lot. You know why? Because I got a lot of family friends, and they will ask me, hey Ren Yi, I need to get on Grab. Like, we thought the pandemic, the lockdown MCO was going to be 2 weeks, 1 month only at best. But no business coming in, and you're not on Grab. And we used to be the spokesperson for Grab. So I bet, no problem, let me hook you up. So I'll call the Grab person and say, okay, can you help my friends sign them up as fast as possible because they're bleeding already.
Yeah.
Then my friends call me back, hey, 35% commission. I call them, I say, are you guys crazy? In the time of pandemic, and you're there, put there, and on your advertisement you say, the 𝐑𝐞𝐧 𝐘𝐢, you're charging merchants at 35%. You're nuts. So they are like, no, we are also bleeding, bro. The car rides, all those also no car rides already, you cannot come out. I said, yeah, but number one, you have budget to give people a lot of discount. Remember, pandemic, 50% left, right, and center. So we were not priority. The priority for Grab at that time was to fight with Foodpanda and for riders, and also to fight for Foodpanda for customers. Merchants, they had oversupply. You don't want, you go right now.
Yeah.
So then, when I on such podcasts, hey, this is broadcaster shit, I'm gonna get in trouble. So when we were on different podcasts, BFM, whatever, I never mentioned Grab, but I would say our delivery partner. But everyone knows my only delivery partner at that time was Grab.
Yeah,
then they send a message and say, hey, they say stuff like this. I say, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And I was fighting for my F&B brothers and sisters. So in the end, unfortunately, they gave me a call in 2022, early 2022. They kicked us off Signature and asked why. Your online persona is not it's not in favor or not in representation of our partnership. Like, okay, so what's the new deal? Then they bump me up by a percentage, and I say, can I change price or not? They say, cannot. I say, why cannot? Then I argue, say, can change price. It's either 5% more or 50%, no, 5% more or 50 cents more. Again, I come. It's like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I say, screw you, I'm going to price whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
So we price 15% markup.
Yeah.
So on Grab right now, the burger is 15% more expensive than in store.
Yeah.
My thought at that time was that if customers see the price, they'll be like, okay, I'd rather go eat in store.
Yeah.
But mana tahu, Malaysians are apparently very rich. My sales improved and people were buying more. And guess what? Grab was earning more. They charged a higher commission. I forcefully put a higher price. They were earning more.
Because they charge based on the percentage, it's not
Yes, exactly.
fixed fee.
Then guess what? These days, everyone price whatever the fuck they want anyway.
Yeah.
So that's the story of us and Grab lah.
Yeah, good. Great and share this with us, not with BF and all that. But after this, right, after pandemic, right, how was the business like?
This one is tough. So the point of time that I would say is a transition from pandemic to non-pandemic is December of 2021. That was when I think officially everything. Okay, you don't have to sit 1 meter apart lah. Remember there was this insane rule that you cannot sit 1 meter apart and all those nonsense. Now a lot of things happened after that. Supply. Things that we used to order, it was not available because when everyone opened up, suddenly there's a huge demand for it. So certain sauces, certain toppings we couldn't make. Now the stupid part of me running a business, although we call ourselves Malaysian business, is we import a lot of stuff. So when the supply chain is cut, suddenly I cannot show certain items.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And then prices started going up. We remember the US dollar versus ringgit that started going up. Everything went up in price. So that affected us where our costs went up. Then the next thing is, because we did so well in the pandemic, and this was something that I knew in my head, we did so well in the pandemic that people sian with our burger already. Because we were one of the top brands during that period. They even gave us a freaking award. But the award meant nothing. You gave me an award for earning you money.
Yeah.
Every month I was paying Grab about 400,000 during the pandemic period.
Only for
That's based on percentage only.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, because our sales was about 1.6 million. So
Yeah.
at that time so it was crazy. We had nothing to take back. Anyway, post-pandemic, people didn't want burgers. People didn't want burgers. They wanted to go out eat their sushi lah, omakase lah, right? There was this huge trend of just wanting to go out eat steamboat, everything that they couldn't enjoy during the pandemic, which is again natural.
How long has it lasted?
It was a whole year. It was a whole year of bleeding for us. And I tried to again address some of the supply chain issues and whatnot by changing the recipe. So that was also a bad move because 2022 June I changed the recipe where I call it menu 2.0. For the longest time we never changed the whole menu before. It was always changed a little bit. So we changed the whole menu and people were saying your burger sucks now. And I agree. The burger was terrible. Why? Now, for a burger, right, actually, if you change one item, not a big deal. When you change 3-4 items in the burger, it becomes a whole lot of difference. And at that time, I was also very distracted because somewhere in 2021, one of my partners said, I want you to exit the business. And that was when I cannot do a lot of things. Yeah. So once we have that disagreement, whether I want to put in a little money to decorate the store a little bit or to change something, I couldn't. Yeah. So that was when things were stuck. Sales was going down, cost was going up, stuff was getting harder and harder to find. People were saying our food sucks, but I have no choice because I just buy whatever was available and to make the burger, just so that at least I can open shop. And as of last August, we had 3 months runway only. We almost closed down.
Oh, that bad?
Yeah, it was that bad. I think if for those that follow the Facebook page, 老板好, there was this article that was going around. So the funny thing about that is July is our anniversary. So they write a nice piece for us saying that, BurgerLab, local heroes, 3 guys started a burger brand, lasted 10 years, survived MCO.
Yes.
好榜样.
Yeah.
Then in the comment section, I so young lah, right? So I can have that. No lah, what you see is only the surface. This is actually the actual problem, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I was very honest, as usual. And the people from Hanbao said, hey, let's do an interview lah.
Yeah.
So they came in, I told them the problems as I just told you. And then I said one thing, which is, for the last 4 months, we've been losing money, about 50,000 a month. Then they use it as the BLT.
Yeah, I saw that. We all saw that.
So it's like, it went viral. Then in the comment section, it's like, I can't say lah. But you know what? It is part of the puzzle of running a business, but that was the scenario. And actually it helped. I think that article helped because my partners at that time, the exiting partners, I think they were very fixed on the selling price. But when the article went viral, I think it kind of came to a realization that the high price that they think the business was worth was not there. Yeah.
So it was sort of like a bargaining power for you as well.
I did bargain. I just say, hey guys, so I actually did put in money without acquiring any shares or anything. It's just if they don't acknowledge it, right, my money is burning already. Right? I put in my own money just to keep the business running, right? Because I said let's put in money so that we can keep. But obviously they had no interest because they wanted to exit. I can share this story, and I don't want to I'm not trying to paint anyone in a bad picture at all. But I think this is good sharing for everyone.
So during that period, again, MCO, it's very difficult to pin the price on the business. What is the valuation of the business? Of course, the exiting party would say, I want pre-pandemic numbers.
Yeah.
Because when the pandemic over already,
You definitely will get.
you will go back there. Yeah. But the answer is no. No one can
It's
guarantee
uncertain.
that.
Yeah.
No one knows, right? And the number that was asked, I was like, yeah, I don't think that's a fair number. So we had a gentlemanly agreement that the exiting partner, the remaining partner, will have the first right of refusal, meaning that I can say the number is not good, you go and sell, sign off.
Yeah.
So it was a whole year of me trying to talk to investors that they find to convince the investor why the business was worth as high as they said. So the ironic part is that I don't think the business is worth that high, but the investor come and say, hey, your partner said it's worth 20 million, let's say.
Yeah.
Okay? But in it's very mountain,
Yeah.
right?
True.
But in my head, it's like, yeah, it's probably worth half of that, right?
But sorry, you had, because you mentioned about first right of refusal, right? So you, before starting up this company, you guys already had that system in place.
It's a gentleman. Okay, so
Have a freaking shareholders agreement. So when we started, we're all young, we're all friends, good friends.
Yeah.
So very kumbaya, hold hands together, stars under the rainbow. So we did have a shareholders agreement.
Yeah.
These days, my advice to anyone is the best time to talk about the worst case scenario is during the good times. So when things went bad, we really couldn't talk. There was just no discussion. Mostly on my side because I was also very emotional. Because I was trying to save the business, at the same time I feel slightly betrayed. Not their fault, but on my part, my emotions were real, what I felt was real. Yeah. So it was a lot of stalemate. Then when the realization that we only had 3 months runaway, really the bank, that's the checkbook, that's the bank account, 3 months. Then there was room for negotiations, and I had an investor who was willing to come in at a price, but his terms was that he was going to buy everybody out, not just that one person. So thankfully, I have my other partners that also said, as long as the business survives, that's important. So they also sold their shares. So I was very lucky because
Including you, or what? Like I say,
so he only wanted to sell out all the sleeping partners at the time.
I see.
So only me and Andrew remained, and then 𝐑𝐞𝐧 from Lotus Group came.
So the new investor, if I'm not mistaken, is Lotus Capital.
Yes, that's correct.
And that was during February this year.
Actually, it came in November last year.
November last year.
But after all the due diligence and everything, officially it's January, February.
But why is it only surfaced now? Like I only see about the news. But because before that, right, I think from the Laufan post, right,
Yeah.
you were talking about options like going for crowdfunding.
Yes,
And
we were also considering that.
why eventually it didn't happen? Is it because of the new injection from Lotus Capital, or it was not the way?
I wanted a working partner. I wanted a partner that knew his numbers. So 𝐑𝐲 he's very young, he's only 28, but he's been running his family's numbers side of things for a very long time, been trained to do so. So it was a right partnership. And to your question on why you only heard about it recently, so the age found out.
Yeah.
Then they said, we were right about it. Then we're like, yeah, but we don't want to.
Like last week, right?
Yeah. Then we wanted to keep it low profile. We believe in letting our action show. But the age said, oh, we found out about this. Can you give us more information? We're like, we're not interested. Then they say, yeah, but we're going to write about it anyway. So might as well, rather than there's misinformation, we told them exactly what the plan was. So we have 4 stores coming up by the end of the year. 𝐾𝐢 Mall, Mid Valley, Sanajai is relocating to a bigger store, and then 163. And then next year another 10 more. So we wanted to roll the stores out with the new branding. And then these old stores also will be rebranded. But then only we put out the publication.
Only you announce the news.
Yes, so that's why you will see a lot of, on our site.
I see. So, if I understand correctly, right, you say you didn't want to go for ECF at that time also because to you money is not important.
No.
It's not only money not important. You want money at the same time. You want someone who can come in as a valuable investor or someone who can guide you.
Yes. So because with ECF, I had a lot of investors, but you don't want to be talking to everyone, right? So I rather have one solid investor that can work with you hand in hand moving forward.
So before this, I would say like for Lotus Capital to come in, right? They are more professional or they are more institutionalized.
Yes.
So what is your experience in dealing with, let's say, someone who is more retail sleeping partners and together with someone who is more professional and institutional? What's the difference? And what kind of partner do you need at which stage?
Because we're scaling, and because we've been running the business for 10 years, without structure, this is the right time to have them in. So they sent in 2 different professionals. Basically, they are problem fixers. They come in, tear down whatever that is nonsense on my side, right, and then rebuild it with structure. So whether it's on HR side, whether it's marketing, whether it is our production, of course with my input as well. But there were a lot of inefficiencies in how we do things. So that to me was a wake-up call. I thought, I don't dare say I know everything, but I thought I had the business, within my grasp. I understood the business, but I didn't. So a lot of introduce new method of seeing things or operating things allow for us to do things with more transparency, with more efficiency as well.
So you would think that as once the business reaches a certain point, it is necessary for someone who is more professional to come in and to provide inputs or even like supervise or change something to, let's say, to grow to the next level.
It's a very different ball game. So I'll give you 2 examples: 𝐿 and US Pizza.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure everyone has seen US Pizza.
Yeah.
They have mushroom everywhere in the last 4-5 years. They are originally just a very small pizza joint in Penang, right? So someone came in, bought over, I think majority, and then basically promised the owner, I'm going to scale it up, I'm going to go IPO it and whatnot. And that was the plan, and they have scaled up. Now, what happens after that, I don't know, whether they're hitting their goals or not. But you can see with professional structure, one can scale a business very, very quickly. Now, whether it still has the heart, the soul of what the original business is, we don't know. The business itself will show you the numbers. So, inside scoop. So, Evan and I are very good friends. And he started about a year after myBurgerLab started.
Yeah.
And I think I became friends with him after 1 year of his business operating, and been friends ever since. So I've seen his growth. In fact, myBurgerLab and Inside Scoop also shared an office at one point.
So you guys are in the alliance of the group.
Yeah, with alliance. So that was something that I built just so that there's a support system. But I've seen Edmund's way of thinking. Edmund is, okay, so his training is finance. He's a finance banker. And he did a lot of mergers and acquisition back in his days. So from day one when he built Inside Scoop, the idea was to sell it. And again, it was just very impressive to see how, from one ice cream shop in Bangsa, and then he expanded. And then during MCO, he was like, first 3 months, bro, I'm gonna die, bro. It's like, no one, is buying the ice cream and this and that. But then he managed to twist it around. So I don't know if you guys realize, during MCO, Inside Scoop sold a lot of cakes. Every season also got cake. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Grandmother's Day, right? That was actually their savior. They sold a lot of cakes, so they came out of pandemic very strong, and the right partner came to pick the people that were supplying them milk. Also got IPO recently, so that was very good timing. So, I always ask Edmund, I say, when is the right time to sell the business? When do you feel the right time? I say, when the money is right.
But how would you know the money is right?
You know what you want. So it was very simple. He knew what he needed, what he wanted. For him, it was more opportunity cost. So I've spoken to different people. Another example I'll tell you about is VCR and Group, but I'll get to that later. But like Edmund, it's like if I continue becoming a financier in Singapore, I would have earned X dollars over the years.
Yeah.
The time that I spent in inside school, I better make back the same amount or more.
Yeah.
So to him, that's the valuation that he comes from.
And how he values whether it's more or
Yes,
whether it's enough.
whether it's the right number or not. And then for Andrew from VCR Cafe, you guys have already heard of it. His goal is also very different. It's like, as long as when I exit, this is again 3 years ago when I spoke to him, I get to cash out 10 million ringgit is enough. I calculated already, 10 million, I can pay for this, for my school kids, and then I can retire. So I think everyone's number is different. Of course, if you look at the papers, it's nice to say that you exited at 200 million, 300 million, and some ridiculous numbers, right? I believe that there's only so much money you can spend in the world. So what are you contented with, right? Without comparing to other people. So it's individualistic.
Yeah.
For me, and 𝐶𝐞, for me, if you ask me, I'm very low maintenance one. I'm probably more aligned with Andrew, right? 𝐶𝐞 he's got very, very big dreams. So our goal is in the next 5 years, we are able to exit at around 70, 80 million. So that's our goal. So reverse engineering through that and to make sure that in the next 3-4 years, we build to that level. In fact, we are already starting to talk to VCs and whatnot to again pitch them our idea to say that watch out for us in 5 years. We are going to continually update you. If you're interested, you can talk as we go.
I see, great.
Yeah.
Looking at hindsight, right, did you consider this earlier? Because I think pre-pandemic, right, you, 3 of you also received a lot of offers and all that, but you guys were not thinking about it at that time. Was it the money was not right, or it was not an option at that time?
No one wanted to buy us outright at the time because we were not structured. What people were offering us were franchise money, meaning that they want to again expand and want to be a part of the BurgerLab family. Why we didn't go down that route is because again we were scared. We were scared that we are okay. So there are franchises where you buy my franchise already, it's your own problem already, lah.
Yeah.
Right? I cannot do that. So I feel scared if I have to be answerable to someone's, their livelihood, lah. Yeah. So
affect.
Yeah. So actually during the pandemic, 2021, I had a friend who actually came up to me and she said, I want to bring to Penang, I want to buy the franchise. And I said, at that time, I was more confident because I saw the MCO sales. I was like, if MCO I can do these numbers, post MCO I think I can do better. Again, very naive lah. But I told her, I said, I don't have a franchise model right now. I said, what are you doing right now? She said, I don't have anything. I'm looking for opportunities. I said, why don't you join me for 6 months, learn the business, and build the franchise model with me. So she became an employee to build the franchise business that she was going to buy into, right? So she came in, she worked on it for 6 months, 7 months. She got the model built. 2022, April, she was supposed to open Penang. We were supposed to sign the dotted line in January. But as I told you, December of 2021 and January of 2022, we started seeing numbers drop very, very quickly. And that was when I had to do I thought I was an asshole because I had to tell her, despite all the work you did, I cannot give you a franchise. I don't think you make money. I think you will earn money.
But it is also kind of advice, because you yourself seeing that the number and all that, you advise her to go against it.
Yeah, but she was already 100% into it.
Yeah.
Right, she was committed. So yeah, I felt really bad about that. But at the end of the day, after looking at how we went through 2022 and it was so tough, I'm glad that I made that call. Whether she knew it or not, I don't know. But 我要过得去我自己的良心。
If she saw the post of 老板 now, then she
yeah, she said, yeah, bullet dodge.
Okay, so having gone through from viral to okay, then pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, what's your biggest advice to someone who wants to start a business? That doesn't necessarily has to be F&B business. Someone who just want to start a business or doing a business.
I think ask yourself why you want to start a business. again, I wish that there is this answer, for everyone. For me, I always believe that F&B for me is just a way to change lives, whether it's my employees, whether it's my customers. So my customers, when it comes to food, I believe that 你开心也好，你伤心也好, you go to your favorite makan place, you change your mood already. Right? Malaysians, I think in general are like that. So I feel like we have a greater task to deliver happiness. That's the customer side. From my staff side, I always believe they won't stay with me forever. I don't expect them to stay with me forever. But as soon as they stay with us, they learn, they grow, they live a better version of themselves. That to me is my goal. The money is a bonus. So that makes me happy. I'm sure if for all the business owners here, you guys have heard of the word ikigai. Yeah? So you are good at what you do, you make money at what you do, you serve a purpose, and the world needs you, right? I feel like I've achieved some level of ikigai. Money has never been my main goal. Right now, I'm chasing money, I won't deny that, but I'm chasing money for my team, I'm chasing money for my partner, I have a responsibility to them. But as long as along the way I can still deliver happiness to my customers, I can deliver growth to my team, then I'm happy.
You're always someone who looking for happiness, as you said. Once said like you always want to be a clown. You wanted to be a clown.
Yeah, so you probably read about that. So as a child, I secretly wanted to be a clown when I grew up. At that time, I didn't know why. Right? But everyone, we have to write. We want to be fireman now, maybe engineer, we want to be doctor. But looking back, to be a clown is someone who delivers happiness. But it's a simple oversimplification of the idea. I think everyone here, whatever you do, you are delivering happiness. Whether it's instantaneous, like a good cup of coffee, a good burger, or delayed happiness. If you give a good service, right, your customers get a good service, get a good product, over time they become happy. So I think all of us are delivering happiness. The question is, are you happy delivering the happiness? Right?
I see. Good. What do you think is the key element for, or what's the characteristic from a perspective, right? What's the characteristic for a successful startup or successful business people? Because you have, before BurgerLab, you have started a few businesses on your own. Then, for all these 10 years, you have made a lot of friends in the industry as well. So, after you have seen through so many, right? What do you think is the characteristic for a successful business?
I think people who are very focused, they know what they want. They go out and get it. I think that is very crucial, and the tenacity to continue fighting no matter what. But that being said, it's not always the greatest advice, because just because you can tahan doesn't mean it's a good thing. You also need to know when to give up. But most of the time, as long as you continue doing it, and you're not at a loss, you're not burning yourself, you can have a higher success rate. That's what I see.
Yeah. So last question, right? You together with your partners, initial partners, you guys had a chance to exit, or the deal was for you to stay.
Yes.
Has it ever come across with you that you all just close out the business? So
last year. So I was at the Zen mode, whereby part of me is I'm happy to let go of this. Part of me is I want to continue fighting. I never thought I could achieve that, because for the longest time I was so angry at my partners during that period, was because how can you guys give up? I've not given up. You're giving up on me. But when it came to a point where I was like, okay, let's find someone to just buy the whole business. But the problem is, so this is advice for you all, don't be the key man. Okay? Because if you're the key man, you'll be the last to exit. It's a good and bad thing, right? If you're the last to exit, you make the most money also. Evan, for example, the news says that, how many million was sold and this and that. He barely got a fraction of that. Most of it was his partner who exited. He got some shares exchanged. He got a bit of a cash out, but he's still working. Now he's like, I'm no longer our partner actually. I still have to work for somebody else. But his cash out is 3 years, 4 years from now. He's not entirely happy about it, but he's still in a better position than most of us. So for me, last year, when I said that, okay, find someone who can buy the business over, take over our debt, and I'll be done with it. Okay. But everyone was like, Ren Yi not in, I don't want one. So that was the problem. So I made myself the face of MyBurgerLab, unfortunately, and there in that scenario, it wasn't great.
The deal has come together with you.
Yes.
Yes.
I think for the most part, if the deal was damn good, then yes, I would stay on. But because it's a not so great deal, then it didn't make sense.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Ren Yi, for sharing with us today. So now we will open up